Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're still doing the A through Z challenge. Today we're doing Alistar in the support role against Seraphine on the enemy team. This was a very long game and I felt like maybe we could have ended it sooner. Either way, there's a lot of shot calling I did here as a support role, so that's kind of cool. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And a small disclaimer is that this video is not meant to be a guide or a how to play Alistar. This is again part of a tiny series that I'm giving myself as an A through Z to play all the champions from Ari to Ziggs. Now let's take a look at Alistar's abilities. His first ability, or his passive ability, is Triumphant Roar. The more he takes damage, he heals his ally and himself. You can see the little blue bar under his health and mana. That indicates when he's going to heal. He actually does a little roar. His first ability is called Pulverize, where he just, hits the floor and knocks people up for a bit. His second ability is called Headbutt, in which he charges at a person and knocks them back. You can combo the second and first ability to do a quick charge and knock up. It's really cool, really fancy. His third ability is called Trample, where he just hits the floor for a bit. It's like an AoE. He gets a little chain indication, and if he hits somebody within 5 seconds, he does get a stun. His ultimate gives him, it removes crowd control, and he gains 55% damage reduction over 5 seconds, or 7 seconds, sorry. So funny thing here is that for my second level up, I was going to get my second ability, but I mixed up the ability names, so I upgraded Trample versus Headbutt. That's why I just started hitting the floor. I was hoping to do a quick, cheesy level 2 charge and knock up. Now we just have to wait till level 3. I might as well take this time to talk about the support items that are included in the game now. I am using Relic Shield. You can see the charges you have by the circular blue orbs going around your character. Whenever you have one of those charges, you can execute an enemy minion at a certain percentage of health, and you get the full gold benefit of killing that minion, and so does your ally. On top of that, you also get a nice little heal. So, yeah, support items are absolutely great. Sickle is the same concept except you use poke as opposed to killing minions, so the more you hit enemies, the more gold you get. Let me slow this down. So you can see the caster minion here. He's the only one alive. What I'm doing is slowly bringing him over to our side. So what it can happen is it's going to freeze the blue minions on our side and slowly bring the red minions to our side, forcing the enemy team to come to our side. This is like a freeze, or it is a freeze. Unfortunately, Misfortune broke that by auto-attacking the minion aimlessly. Here's my second ability. First ability, knock up. That's the combo I was talking about earlier. My third ability, you can see the chain animation I was talking about. My exhausted Ezreal to make sure I can get a stun. Once the chain is all gold, you can stun him, you do extra damage. Unfortunately, I didn't have... I wouldn't blame Misfortune, I just did that by accident. And here it is in real time, so you guys can see it and how fluid it looks. Here's the freeze. Misfortune breaks it. Here is my second to first ability combo. Turn on my third ability and chase Ezreal. Exhaust him. Get that stun damage off. And unfortunately, we didn't kill Ezreal, but that's kind of the premise of the combinations you want to do with Alistar. I am going to be building Imperial Mandate first. 1, because Alistar's abilities scale with ability power. 2, because that movement speed bonus is super influential to me using my third ability stun, because obviously the more movement speed I have, the easier I can catch up with them. And stacking that with Misfortune slow when she buys Sherilda's Grudge is going to be awesome. We're going to be so sticky. And with this downtime, let's keep talking about the support items. So at the bottom, you can see that there is a counter that says 227. It's going to go up to 287 now. Every time you get gold, it racks up this counter up to 500. Once you successfully hit 500, it levels up to something called Targon's Buckler, which is the same item, gives you a little bit more health and some ability haste. And then once again, you need to hit 500 gold for it to level up to Bulwark of the Mountain. Now, Bulwark of the Mountain is the item you really, really want as a support, especially when you play a support that has an enchantment like I purchased Portal Boat here, or if you want to do Gargoyle Stoneplate. The reason is because every time you get a kill or assist, it gives you a massive 40% cooldown refresh on your enchantments. You'll see later on that in 7 seconds, my Portal Belt enchantment went from 60-second cooldown to already being back up because I got 2 assists. It's absolutely crazy, but that's the reason why these new, well, quote-unquote new, support items are so strong. Now, if you guys are playing duos, here's a really cool trick you can do with the Scuttle Crab. If you stand in one spot and your ADC stands in the middle, You can kind of see you play ping pong, you bounce the scuttle around. However, Misfortune steps out of the way and the scuttle crab is free to go. This is important to know because when you're trying to farm safely, for example, let's say we were on next to middle lane and you see Akali's got a double kill. If we were in a scuttle crab walking over there, she can come attack us and she got a quadra kill. Thankfully that didn't happen, right? But that's why you want to keep the scuttle in one spot. You can also do that trick as a jungler and you kind of corner the scuttle crab into a wall in between you. Just bounces back and forth between the wall and yourself. Much easier to attack instead of chasing it around. Okay, so about a minute ago I told you guys to pay attention to the 34 plus 34 I got from a cannon minion. Right now I got 85 minus 43, so I got my gold cut in half. That's the caveat that comes with having a support item. If you kill the minion without an ally around, you split the gold in half. If you let anything else kill the minion, whether it be a cannon or another minion, you get full gold. You can notice I'm doing a lot of shot calling here. Pinging Mashi and Annie, hey, attack and group at dragon. It's already up, and we can secure this for sure. Alright, and you've noticed that we're 0 to 5 kills, so we're super behind. Funny enough that the enemy team didn't go for dragon first instead of us. Annie there missed her ultimate, so did Misfortune. I'm focusing on Xin Zhao because he has smite. I exhaust him and make sure he goes down first as soon as possible. My next target is either going to be Akali or Ezreal. Then Akali dashes into Misfortune, I knock her away. Akali flashes, I flash. I stun Akali. I was hoping Misfortune would stay with me, but that's not the case. I ended up dying. We are now 1 to 6 and then 1 to 7 after I come back to life. It's not looking so good for us. Annie is 0 and 4. Mashi is 0 and 2. Akali is 5 and 0. So it's not looking so good. However, we scale as a team, so we just gotta take our time and get to that level. On top of that, we managed to secure the first dragon. No one is going for Rift Herald yet, so maybe we can make a play on it. Either way, we gotta play this slow. No one is at lane against us. Ezreal and Seraphine are both missing. I'm looking through my shop. I see Seraphine. I use my second ability combo. I am going to stun her with my third ability. Managed to secure that. Misfortune unfortunately missed her ultimate again, which, it is what it is. And here's Ezreal all by himself. We can take care of this guy easy. Use my ultimate to negate a lot of damage from the turret. I'm about to get a stun off, make sure I get extra damage. And with that, that's a double kill for myself. Misfortune, sorry, I didn't mean to take all those, but you weren't anywhere to be found, And with that, we're going to push this and try to get this turret. That'll get us a second turret, so closing that gold gap. We're now 4 to 8, so we're not looking so good still. You just saw Xin Zhao pass through that ward by dragon, so we take this turret, and, I'm ready to die here. I have exhaust ready just in case he attacks us. Thankfully, he goes for a loop, and we get away there from safely. Akali is now 7 and 0, so she's having a really good time. And you'll notice here I'm thinking to myself, maybe I need to carry this game by doing damage. So I go for a Merle and get some, grievous wounds and some AP damage, because Akali has Riftmaker, which gives her Spell Vamp, or Omni Vamp actually. So try to cut that in half. We have a small skirmish right now for Rift Herald, and I die for the second time. Really, really fast. So I tell myself, I don't need ability power at this point. What I need is durability. Like Misfortune, Mr. Ultimate again. No one is helping me fight this fight, right? So I just took a lot of damage for no reason. I wasted my ult for no reason. So if I don't have defenses normally, then I'm going to screw myself over. You see, all this damage I'm doing is awesome and good and well, but the rest of my team can do damage. Akali is just having a really good time. Thankfully, we finally catch her out. And here in this moment, I'm like, I'm going to sell this. Get rid of that. I still need Grievous Wounds, so I'm going to buy Bramble Vest and level that up to Thornmail to get what I need. And that's something a lot of people need to hear. It's okay to stop building Bruiser or AD to go tank. Like Garen's, I go 0 and 4 in lane. Maybe stop building a Bruiser and just go tank, because then you'll be useful for your team, right? As opposed to just keep dying with no defenses. Here you see Misfortune trying to run and help her team. I say, no, stay back here. We need to push this lane. So thankfully she listens to me for two reasons. One, I can level up my Bulwark of the Mountain faster. And two, she's just going to die there. Like, look how far they're chasing my team. If she had gone there, she would have died. So let's push this wave, get some gold, and go back there when we have items. Right? I'm waiting to get my chainmail, which is 10 gold from now. Once I purchase it, me and Misfortune make our way to go defend second tier turret. At least we're defended by a turret as opposed to walking in blindly from middle lane. Here I'm going to see if Misfortune will follow me. I'm diving, I'm taking a lot of damage from them. She's staying behind the turret for some reason, and I almost die. I didn't die, thankfully, but right, it kind of seems like Miss Fortune is doing her own thing, and it's not gonna get us to where we need to go. Thankfully, she can listen to pings, so we have to kind of orchestrate her, move her around, use her like a chess piece, ping her where to go, ping her when to stop. So somebody recently asked me, what's a big tip that I can give people to not get upset? Well, do everything in your power. If you can feel content with the effort that you put into the game and still lost or won, regardless of the outcome, then you should be happy. You'll notice here that I'm pinging like crazy. I'm pinging Yone, danger, because we're not going to be near him. So if he gets ganked, he's on his own. I'm pinging attack the dragon, and the rest of my group grouped together. So I'm telling him to group here in this bush because he's Seraphine right there in jungle, in the middle lane. And look at that. I calculated this correctly. Seraphine walks into us. I push her into my team. Boom. Destroyed. Popped. Akali over there in that corner. And now 4 of us are attacking dragon. So, uncontested dragon. That's the second one. And we're still behind in kills, right? We're 8 to 14. So that means they can easily contest us if they wanted to, but we are more coordinated as a team. Here I'm picking Miss Fortune, attack this enemy, group with me, and let Mashi and Annie go middle lane. We can split push this together, maybe make some money. I still need 50 gold for my Bulwark of the Mountain, which we complete right now. And she also gets gold to split with one person, plus I'm giving her full gold to the minion. So, these little things make it easier for us to close that gold gap. Unfortunately, the team is already fighting, and Yon at this point starts to disconnect frequently. I think he's having internet issues. So I'm telling Miss Fortune, same thing we did earlier. Just recall, buy your items, and we'll fight by our turret. Thankfully, Yon were connected, so now it's a 3v3. Akali, Ezreal, and Seraphine versus me, Yona, and Miss Fortune. Unfortunately, here, Yon just goes straight for blood and ignores the fact that me and Miss Fortune can't keep up with him, and he goes straight for blood. Once he dashes forward, I just do a quick 90-degree angle and just go straight towards him and see if I can help him out. Unfortunately, he gets caught out by a bunch of people, so he dies really fast. I use my portal belt, my first, my second, my third, and you can see that every time I kill an ally or an enemy or to give an assist, my proto belt dropped. It was absolutely crazy how fast it dropped, from 60 seconds to 7 seconds. Now that we killed both of them, though, we can take this turret pretty easily. I'm going to push Seraphine out of the way, trying to get that second and first combo. I didn't get it, but thankfully, Xin Zhao was right there. I missed my proto belt. I got 60-second cooldown. We kill Xin Zhao, and my proto belt cooldown went to 30 seconds. Isn't that crazy? That's the benefit of getting those new support items. Anyway, just to recap, the way I don't get upset at myself with losses is by telling myself I did everything I possibly could in the situation I was given. Regardless of trolls, regardless of feeders, things like that. If I know I did what I could to win that game, even if we lose, I am happy with my performance. And even if we do lose, I'm hoping I'll learn something about why I lost. So here you can see Miss Fortune walking towards the river. I'm pinging danger, and I walked closer to her. As a tank, I've got to make sure she stays alive. Regardless of her silly mistakes, if I can protect her, maybe I will. Especially this one because she listens to my pings. So I got to make sure that she knows that I'm going to support her regardless of her mistakes, as long as she supports me. And so this 30 seconds is full of funny stuff. Akali attacks me. I knock her out of her shroud, so forcing her to use stasis, so she does. Miss Fortune flashes out of here. Master Yi alpha strikes into the enemy team. Teemo silences him or blinds him, and he just gets absolutely destroyed. Yon goes for a behind the attack gank. Annie lands her ultimate. Miss Fortune lands her ultimate. So I'm saying my team's fighting. I'm gonna fight. I dive in there with all of my kit. I exhaust Teemo to make sure he gets taken care of. Make sure we take care of Seraphine. Ezreal's almost dying. I just heal like hella because of my passive, and we're pushing to inhibitor turret. Remember, we are still behind in gold, but we're doing the smart things, being very patient, and reacting to the enemy's mistakes. The funny thing is that I stopped shot calling in this specific minute because I thought it would make sense to just back off after we took the inhib. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I did not ping retreat. So my team, aside from myself and Mashi, they just stay up there and fight until they die, which is just kind of funny to think about, right? But when you're the person who, if you feel like you're the best player in the game, or in that round, make sure that you can tell your team what to do in all moments. For example, here, if I didn't go back, these minions would have taken this turret for sure. It only has 206 health, and I don't do a lot of damage. So if I hadn't responded to this, nobody would have responded to this, which allows the minions to accumulate and us losing turrets. If you're not doing shot calling, things like that can get passed by people who aren't aware of the map. That's what you have to be aware of the map and make sure you use your pings correctly. Yon just disconnected again, unfortunately. Misfortune just died. MSG is going to die here. I tried flashing to save his life, but that was just a waste of my ult and flash. It is what it is. You live and you learn, right? And we missed one ping so far. And that caused us to fall back even more. Now I'm pinging repeatedly again. Dragon is spawning. Enemy is not here to group here at Dragon. I see Scuttle Crab is alive, so I'm pressing attack so Andy can kill the Scuttle Crab. Yon just comes back. Andy's ignoring the Scuttle Crab, so I'm like, I might as well just attack this to death. I'm trying not to use my abilities because if an enemy comes along, I'm not going to have my abilities. Thankfully, Teemo walks up to us. Annie managed to get a really good ultimate on him, and I push him the wrong way. I'm supposed to push him back, but I push him to safety, and he kind of gets away here. But I chase him for quite some time. Maybe he makes a mistake, but at this point, I'm like, it's not really worth my time chasing him. Once he's gone out of my sight, what's the point? Inferno Dragon is up. That's the most important thing. So again, you see how I'm pinging. Attack Dragon. Enemy is missing from middle lane. Come attack this place. Teemo got executed. See how far he went? That would have been such a silly chase to do. Yon is responding to me attacking Dragon. Mashi, Misfortune, and Annie are fighting in middle lane. At this point, it's like, whatever. As long as you guys are zoning out the enemy team, we're focusing on the objective. And that's the funny thing, right? The enemy team has an Akali who's 11-2. Out of 20 kills, she has 11 of them. She has the majority of them. And whether you intentionally or unintentionally funnel the kills to one person, if they're not focusing on objectives, you're going to have a hard time focusing objectives as a team. Because Akali isn't anywhere there, you can see my team giving the enemy team kind of a run for their money. Once Akali does show up, though, she gets a triple kill. But again, kills, remember, don't win the game. Taking the Nexus wins games. Me and Yon, even if we didn't get a single kill, we took a turret and we took Dragon. That's the third Dragon. So we're at 3 stacks of Dragons. And she did nothing for it. She got a triple kill, but the game is still revolving towards us winning because we have more objectives. And here is my Force of Nature at work. I got 2 stacks, and look how fast I am. I'm just outrunning this Teemo, and Teemo is one fast little dude. And just because it's fast, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing. I need 1900 gold for Sunfire Cape. I have 1750. I need 150 gold. That cannon turret is probably worth about 90, so I can kill that thing. Grab myself some gold. I got 85. So now I only need 20 gold as opposed to 150 gold to buy it. So now that I recall, I can buy it straight up as opposed to waiting. That was just lucky. I didn't really plan that, but, you know, it is what it is. You saw that I didn't wait to get my full mana back because look how far these minions are pushing. Remember, all of these lanes are doing one thing or the other. Pushing or pulling. Or pushing to you or pushing to the enemy team. If you don't notice the ebb and flow of the minions, the minions will end up winning the game. Like, the minions took the enemy team's Baron turret. They almost took our Dragon Lane turret. Both times I had to react to them because my team isn't. And here is one of the last team fights that we have. Misfortune gets cut out by Akali because I guess she didn't notice her in the jungle there. She gets absolutely popped. I don't even get time to react to it. She's on a rampage, which really sucks. So we have to stop this Akali from getting even furtherly fed. Does that make sense? Furtherly fed? Anyway, here is my exhaust. I'm using my third ability to make sure I get a stun on her. Using my sweeping lens to make sure she doesn't go invisible in her shroud, which she does here, but you can see her red silhouette to see where she's going. Thankfully, 2 seconds for my headbutt, which I managed to get a killing spree on. I'm recalling the second I see Teemo. He's going to go for that inhibitor turret. I'm telling my team, why don't you all focus on the Nexus, and I'll go back and stop Teemo. Yon had to recall here because he disconnected yet again, unfortunately. I missed my second and first combo. And you see how Teemo wants you to chase him? I don't really care about him. Well, the funny thing is that both Annie and SG left middle lane when it was free to push and then rotate over to Dragon Lane. But that's besides the point. I'm taking attack Baron because Akali is still dead. Seraphine's still dead. Teemo got pushed back. Ezreal's at Dragon Lane. So the only person that we don't know is Zinzao. Seraphine just came back to life. Master Yi just used Smite and Zinzao is at middle lane. So I go to the character board and I ping to make sure everyone knows. Master Yi used Smite. He doesn't have it active for about 3-4 seconds. I accidentally had Baron instead of Teemo there. That's by accident. But at least we have enough time to reuse Smite to make sure we secure Baron. So again, just to recap. Enemy team is still ahead of us in gold or in kills. But we have 3 dragons, 1 Rift Herald, and now 1 Baron. and we're all rotating towards Elder Dragon. I recall to heal up and move my way over to Baron or to Dragon, but that's also going to be free for us at this point because we have Baron, and the gold is kind of evenly distributed between the team. Master Yi managed to secure Dragon without us, which is fine. That's all good and dandy. Makes it easier, faster. And Teemo misplaces himself. So was Akali. We got 2 knockups. Yone got a double attack. That's a double kill on Akali and Teemo. I managed to get a really nice first ability, 3-person knockup. Seraphine goes down with Dragon buff. Yone is just going in now. So he got a triple kill, almost a pentakill. They got away pretty fast, but at this point, we're just pushing to end. So yeah, good game. A lot of shot calling when it comes to being a support because a lot of times you're at the mercy of your team. But being at the mercy of your team doesn't mean they know what they're doing, right? If you know what you're doing, use those pings. Don't use them conservatively, but don't be too annoying and ping like their ultimate or whatever. Ping it with, the correct manners and the correct reasons to ping. Anyway, that was my Alistar gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed that with the A through Z series. And coming up next, I believe, is another A champion. It's actually Annie, by the way, if you are curious. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, night, evening, weekend, week. And I hope this climb this time is much better than it was last season. Any questions? Comments are right down below. Have a great one, you guys.